Okay, so basically you just wanted to learn how to do a icon with the animated GIF like this. I'm not going to go through the entire icon. I could make a tutorial for the entire icon, but you only asked for how to do the GIF. So, you get your image, right? Oh, that was really weird. I don't say that usually. And I make it square, which, if you don't know how to do that, you get the crop tool and you hold down your shift key and you move your mouse over the section you want, and it makes a perfect square, but make sure you let go of your mouse key before your shift key, because otherwise it just makes the box weird. And you crop that, and then you go to image size and just make it 100 on each side. I do a little bit of my editing before I put my GIF on it. I sharpen my image just to make it so that it, is a little bit more noticeable. If it's a webcam quality, it's gonna probably look a little crappy if you sharpen it too much, so I wouldn't suggest you to sharpen it too much. Sometimes the image looks better if you over sharpen. I personally don't give two shits less. Um, since this is a very small space to work with to put your GIF, I move I make sure that my background's black, considering I'm gonna have that half black. But I move my image over just a little bit, basically just to the part where her face is touching the other side of the icon, and I just sorry, I'm running a little bit of a cold. I just go over that part and darken it a little, get rid of her shirt a little, and just make the hair sort of blend into the background, so that when you put your GIF over top this side, it will look a lot better. Now, I don't know how Photoshop 4 works, so I'm not exactly familiar whether or not they have this setting. I know they have it on 3, but it's a little bit different. You actually have to take each individual slide, which takes a lot more time. But I'm hoping that Photoshop 4 you don't have to do that, and you can just drag um your GIF or whatever you want to call it into your program. Because that's what I do. I just drag my GIF from my file and put it into my program, and it automatically gives me all the slides from that GIF. And if you don't see them on the bottom, you just go to Window and Animation. I'm pretty sure that setting is on all Photoshop, but I'm not sure how the GIF itself works. But you just select all of your layers over here, and you do that by you click the first one, and then you hit Shift, and then you click the last one, and it selects all of them. If you only want a section of them, you can click, from 5 and shift to whatever you want. So you don't have to use the whole entire thing. It's preferred that you only have I've been able to work with quite a few slides, but you're better off using smaller GIFs. I'm not talking about the size of the image. I'm talking about the amount of slides. Then you just basically take it to your icon. You can resize it before if you want. I prefer to do this by myself. While I still have my GIF slides selected, I just go to edit and transform. Had to make sure. And I hit shift again, and I just move this, and it keeps it perfect size for its length and width, so that it doesn't get all messed up and miscombobulated. And I move it so that the part that I want to show is over the part that I want it to be on, if that makes any sense. And I just apply it, and it does it for all of the slides. Um, Now, this is a little bit more time consuming. You have to literally individually make each slide, um, which you're gonna have to get rid of the first slide for each of these. I don't mean delete it, I just mean make it invisible. Which you could do that by selecting all of these the same way you would select these and hitting the first slide, and it will get rid of all of them for those. And then you just gotta go and plug in each individual slide. It's really time consuming, but once you get the hang of it, it's sort of, easy, and you can just go through it really quick, and it doesn't really make much of a difference. But now, considering this icon that I mean, the GIF that I made with the icon on it was fairly dark, and then it only had like some section of it really light. I made it lighten. Now, depending upon your GIF, it's going to be different. If you're going to have a lighter image and you're going to have a GIF that's, I don't know, about the same colors, you may want to use darken or multiply, or you may want to use a different setting. You can play around with those to your liking. It doesn't really matter how you do them, just however you like it. Now, I'm going to grab this tool, which is my lasso tool, which lets you select freehand. If you're not really good at selecting freehand, you can use the polygonal, I don't know what the hell it is, but that one lets you click, piece by piece. And that just basically lets you select the section that you want. And I select the selection that I want to erase, so as you can see, there's like all this little white stuff, and it looks a little cloudy because of me lightening it. Instead of, going and changing the settings or erasing it by individual, well, obviously you're going to have to erase it by individual slides, but you select it to make sure that you keep the same shape for every single one of them. And just make sure you have it set to 100. If you want it a certain shape, you're going to have to make that shape first, and then make all these layers clipping mask to that shape. I can show you how to do that if you want, but personally, I'm just going to show you how I made this icon. Like I said, it's time consuming. It's a bitch, but if you want a nice icon, a good one, then I guess it's worth it. No pain, no gain, right? So once you get the shape of how you're going to have each slide, you're just going to go and make sure that all of them are set to the same setting that you want them set to, because each individual slide is going to be a little different. It's weird talking to myself. I usually don't make tutorials anymore because I don't know. I haven't had the willpower to do it. But because you asked so nicely, I felt like I needed to do this. Now, you can leave it at that. You can just change the timing and just do whatever the hell you want with the editing on top. But I like to go and do just a little bit of an extra step and sharpen each individual slide just to make it sort of fit my image and to not be like all blurred out. Because when you resize things, it tends to blur a little, even if you resize it perfectly. So I just like to make sure that it's still visible and that it's just, it fits your icon, I guess. And that is basically how I did the animation on top of the icon. And then you just select all your slides and set them to the timing you want. You can set it to the same timing as your animation. You can make it a little faster than your animation and add no delay. You can make it slower. You can do whatever you want. You play with the settings and just make whatever you want. And that is basically the same exact thing. Obviously, this one's a little different and this one's a little different because, you can never make an icon the same twice, so obviously. But after you have that, you can go and add new layers, new textures, whatever you want, your text and everything. It's sometimes a bitch to do that because sometimes you may be on, say, like this layer right here, and you may do all these things and have it all cool. And then when you go to the first layer, it's going to be totally different. So you have to make sure that all the settings of whatever you do after this are set to the same on each slide, which, like I said, can be time consuming. But sometimes if you just work on one layer, it will do it for the rest. Usually I work with the first one and it does it for the rest. If it doesn't work like that, you can work on another layer, right click and then hit copy layer style or whatever, and then just go to the first one and paste it, and usually it will paste it for all of them. If that doesn't work, you're gonna have to do it individually, which is, like I said, time consuming, but it's worth it. And that's basically all you do to get your, animation thing on there. I don't really like calling it a GIF because I think it sounds weird. But so basically that's all you do. This setting right here, window, animation, you pull it into your tab, you resize it the way you want it, and you just do it on each individual image, and then you got your beautiful icon. um, and if you ever want me to like teach you something else while I'm still on Vampire Free, I do not mind, because I really don't care. I'm so tired. But anyways, I hope this helped, and thank you for your time.